What is going on, guys? Welcome to the channel, and today I'm gonna try to answer the question: should you become a full stack Python web developer or should you become just a backend Python web developer? So in this video I'll talk about the differences between these two, what they do on a daily basis. Also I'm gonna talk about whether you're going to be a better backend developer if you just focus on the backend rather than trying to learn everything and become a full stack. And at the end, I'm gonna give you some advice on what you should choose based on different factors. So with that said, let's dive in. First of all, you need to understand that nowadays when you work on a web application, most likely your web application is going to have two separate parts. One of them is a backend side and another one is a frontend side. Frontend is what your clients or customers see in the browser. It's an interface of your application. Backend is something internal. It's something that your clients or customers do not see. Basically, it's the place where you have all of your business logic and where you store all of your data. Now, frontend depends on the backend because, as I said, backend has all the data. And most of the times you can't have an interface without data. For example, if you want to show a list of articles in the browser, you need to get these articles from somewhere first in order to show them. So backend provides an API that frontend consumes. Basically, frontend sends API requests to the backend when it needs to fetch some data or when it needs to save some actions that your user is trying to do. For example, the user tries to book a hotel room by clicking on reserve button. So you need to notify backend about that, and you do that by sending an API request. Another example is when the user tries to create a new article on your blog. So after typing all of the information, the user clicks on save button. And at that moment, frontend needs to send this information to the backend so that it can be processed and then saved in the database. So in order to do that, frontend needs to send an HTTP request. And the text of the article is going to be sent in the body of this request. Now, you should have some understanding of backend, frontend, the differences between these two. So let's move on. Let's talk about full stack development. I've been working as a full stack Python web developer for more than 3 years already, and on every project that I worked on before, I was a full stack developer. And as a full stack developer, you are responsible for both sides of the application, I mean backend and frontend. So you need to know technologies that people use on the backend and on the frontend. Also, you need to be able to write good code on the backend and on the frontend as well. If you are a backend developer, then you still need to know the same things on the backend, but you don't need to know frontend, so you can specialize more on the backend. However, you still need to have some understanding of frontend because you're going to write a lot of APIs that will be consumed by front-end engineers. Now, the question that you might ask is, if I decide to go full stack route, am I going to be a mediocre developer because of the fact that I need to know more things than, let's say, backend developers who can also specialize more in what they do? And the answer, based on my experience and based on what I see in the industry, is no. It doesn't work like that. If you're just a backend developer, it doesn't mean that you're going to be the best in the backend, and the same thing with frontend. If you're just a frontend developer, it doesn't mean that you're going to be the best in the frontend. In fact, if you are a full stack developer, you can be better in the backend than just a backend developer, and you can be better in the frontend than just a front-end developer. And there are a few reasons for that. First reason is it depends on what kind of problems you solve. If you work on problems that are simple and not challenging for you, then it doesn't matter if you just focus on the backend. Someone who is a full-stack developer and works on more challenging problems is going to be a better backend developer, even though this full-stack developer needs to do some front-end work as well. Another reason is how much motivation and energy you have, how much work are you willing to put in, are you interested in the craft, do you have the motivation to learn new things? And based on the answers, there could be huge difference between developers no matter what they do, full stack or just backend. There could be other reasons for that. One of them is how talented you are. I found that for some people it's easier to learn programming. So to summarize what I've just said, don't think that a backend developer is someone who is the best in the backend and front-end developer is someone who is the best in the front-end. And full stack is someone in the middle who hasn't mastered anything. That is not true. Now, based on what I've just said, let's talk about what route you should go, full stack or backend. Obviously, if you are just starting out and you want to get a job as quickly as possible, then you should focus on the backend. And you should learn as much as possible on the backend, because full stack route requires you to have more knowledge. However, even if you decide to go backend route, you still need to know some basics of HTML and CSS. But at least you don't need to dive into JavaScript and learn all of these tools like React, Vue, Redux and a bunch of other things. Now, if time is not the issue, then it all boils down whether you want to work on UI or not. Do you want to work with HTML? Do you want to work with JavaScript and tools like React or Vue? Basically, do you want to work on the visual part of the application and are you going to enjoy it? If no, then the answer is obvious. If yes, and if you don't mind to work on this stuff, but still you're not sure what to choose, backend or full stack, to help you even more on this, I would say that learning full stack development is going to be very useful for a couple of reasons. The first reason is if you're a full stack developer, you're basically an application developer, which means that you can build the whole application from scratch by yourself. So if you have an idea in mind, you will be able to go from just an idea to a really good dynamic web application without any help. You don't need to hire or team up with another front-end developer. The second reason is when you understand the development process on the backend and on the front-end as well, you'll be able to design better APIs on the backend because you know what a front-end developer needs in order to build UI as quickly as possible, since you have experience building UI yourself. And that's it for today, guys. I hope that this video was useful for you. By the way, the sound quality in this video is not that great, and the reason is that my microphone stopped working today. So I need to buy a new one. But anyway, if you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, and if you'd like to learn more about how to become or what you should know as a full stack Python web developer, leave a comment below or subscribe to this channel and I'll probably make a video about that. Thanks for watching, guys. See you